morning, children. Stay safely at home. So starting the next chapter, sound. So what is sound? Sound is an elastic longitudinal wave, you can say, or you can say sound is a form of energy which produce sensation of hearing in our ears. Alright, and there are certain few informations related with sound that already you studied in 9th standard that I am summarizing first. So what are they? You know, sound as it is an elastic longitudinal wave. So sound needs medium for its propagation. Alright, sound cannot move in free space or vacuum. And if you consider sound, then frequency of sound when it is within 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz, then this become audible to human being, and that is known as the audible range of frequencies of sound. If the frequency of sound wave is less than 20 Hertz, then that is known as infrasonic sound. If the frequency of sound is greater than 20 kilohertz, then it is known as ultrasonic sound, and the velocity of sound is given by V is equal to F into lambda, where F is the frequency of sound wave and lambda is the wavelength of sound wave. And speed of sound in gas or in air, I hope you can remember Newton's law along with Laplace's correction, given by V is equal to under root gamma P by D, where P is the pressure of gas and D is the density of the medium, is density of the gas. Then velocity of sound in stretched string, it is given by under root T by M, where T stands for tension in the string and M is mass per unit length of the string. Alright, so these are the points that already we studied in the previous class, that is in standard 9. So this one point wise you must note down in your copy. Now what is light? That also you know, light is an electromagnetic wave, and all electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. So light is an electromagnetic transverse wave. Now we have to know what are the differences between sound wave and light wave. The first point of difference is that sound is an elastic longitudinal wave, whereas light is an electromagnetic transverse wave. Alright, then sound as it is an elastic wave does not need medium for its propagation, whereas sound needs medium for its propagation, and light as it is an electromagnetic wave does not need medium for its propagation. I repeat, sound as it is an elastic wave, it needs medium for its propagation, and light as it is an electromagnetic wave, it does not need medium for its propagation. So sound cannot travel in free space or vacuum, light can travel in free space or vacuum, and the speed of sound is quite low, everybody knows, 330 meter per second in air, and speed of light is quite high, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Whereas wavelength of sound is quite high, it is 10 to the power minus 2 meter to 10 meter, whereas wavelength of light is quite small, that is of the order of 10 to the power minus 6 meter. So these are the differences between sound and light wave. Alright, you must note it down clearly, as well as you must learn and prepare it for your board exam, because it is a frequently asked question, the differences between light and sound wave. According to the importance of the points, I have written all the 5 points. Okay, so you please learn it for your board exam. Now sound as it is a wave, so just like other waves, light also wave, it suffer reflection. Alright, it exhibit the phenomena reflection, and when reflection of sound takes place, then remember it obeys the laws of reflection. Alright, means especially the second one, that angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Now, natural phenomena and very interesting phenomena that we observe due to reflection of sound is formation of echo. What is echo? You know, the reflected sound that we heard or the sound that we get after reflection from an obstacle when the original sound has ceased is called an echo. The definition of echo everybody should learn and remember it till the board exam. Okay, that what is the definition of echo? The sound heard after reflection from a distant obstacle after the original sound has ceased is called an echo. Now you have seen that when you are talking in an ordinary room or always you cannot hear echo. Alright. Now the question is why we cannot hear echo. Now we cannot hear echo. We can hear echo when the reflected sound reach our ear after 0.01 second. Alright. Now this one. Now when we can hear an echo, what I said, when we receive the sound after 0.1 second. By mistake I wrote 0.01 second. It should be 0.1 second. This is known as persistence of hearing. Means what? Within 0.1 second, if our ear receives more than one sound, then it cannot distinguish between the sounds received. Alright. Means what? That if our ear receive one sound, it persists in our ear for 0.1 second. Within that time, any sound, another sound received by our ear, the ear won't be able to identify it. Okay. So, we can hear echo only when the reflected sound reach our ear after 0.1 second from the original sound. Alright. So, there is a minimum distance between the source of sound and listener to hear an echo. So, how you can find out? So, suppose here is the source. Alright. And here is the reflector of sound. Clear? Now you see, if you consider that the distance between the source of sound and the reflector is D, then you see what is happening. The sound is going after suffering reflection, coming back and received by the listener. Alright. So here you see, when the sound is moving to the reflector and after suffering reflection it is coming back, it is actually traveling a distance 2D. Now, if you consider V, the speed of sound, the speed of sound you can write it as 2D divided by T. Now, here you see, when we can hear the sound when the time is 0.1 second, means minimum time is 0.1 second, and what is the distance that we do not know, and what is the speed of sound we take? The speed of sound we take it as 340 meter per second. So you see here it is coming, D is coming, how much? D is coming 340 into 0.1 divided by 2. So 340 into 0.1 means 34 divided by 2, 17. So D is 17 meter. So D is the minimum distance between the source of sound and the reflector to hear an echo. So this is one condition to hear an echo. You must remember it, that the minimum distance between the source of sound and the reflector should be 17 meter or greater than 17 meter, then only one person can hear echo. Now what are the conditions for hearing an echo? The first condition, already I said, that the minimum distance between the source of sound and reflector should be at least 17 meter. It may be more than 17 meter, but the minimum distance should be 17 meter. Next is that the size of the reflector should be large enough that it should be comparable to the wavelength of sound. You know, wavelength of sound is of the order of 10 to the power minus 2 meter to 10 meter. So the size of the reflector should be bigger than this one. Then only what will happen? The reflection will take place and diffraction will not take place and sound will become audible. Just you consider this example. Suppose that then you will understand it. Suppose there is a room here, alright, and there is a boundary here and there is a small open space. Now here one person is here and another person is here. Now suppose there is a candle, a small light candle is there, and then you will observe that the other person sitting in the other compartment, that person won't be able to see the light. Alright, but if the person, this person, he makes some sound, then what will happen? The second person can get it. Why it is happening? Just you see that light, as this size reflector is very big, so it cannot come and bend through the reflector. But sound, it can suffer diffraction. Diffraction means what? Bending the corner of the obstacle. Bending round the corner of the obstacle. Now here what will happen? The sound, it will be able to bend through the corner and it will be able to reach to the other compartment. Now the question is, why light cannot reach, sound can reach? Because the sound, it will suffer diffraction only when this one, that obstacle size is comparable to the size of the wavelength of sound. Now wavelength of sound is quite high, so what will happen? The sound will be able to diffract, means bend round the corner, and the person in the other compartment will be able to hear it. Okay, but you see here, in case of reflection, so if the reflector, just you consider this example. Suppose there is a source of sound here and the reflector is very small. Then what will happen? The sound, it will just bend through the this one corner of the reflector and go to the other side instead of suffering reflection. So that's why the second point is that size of the reflector should be large enough as compared to the wavelength of the sound wave. Wavelength, whatever is the wavelength of the sound wave, 10 to the power minus 2 meter to 10 meter. So size of the reflector should be either equal to this or bigger than this. Then only what will happen? The sound will suffer reflection and echo will be produced. Then last point, that intensity of the original sound should be very high. Then only what will happen? After suffering reflection from the reflector, when the sound will reach the listener's ear, then the sound will become audible to the listener's ear. Alright, now you know that when the teacher is not very much loud in the class, then what happens? Those who are sitting at the back, they cannot hear only what is said, isn't it? So here what is happening? If the intensity of the original sound, if it is quite less, then what will happen? It will, intensity means what? I hope you know. Intensity is the amount of energy carried by the sound wave per unit area, per unit time, perpendicularly. That is known as the intensity of the sound. So you see, intensity actually give you the measure how much energy the sound wave is carrying with it. So if it carries the initial, the original wave, if it carries less amount of energy, then what will happen? After suffering reflection, when it will come pass through the medium, then when it is passing through the medium, some amount of energy will be absorbed from it by the medium. So by the time it will reach observer's ear, what will happen? It will not become audible to the observer ear, or not observer, listener's ear. Alright, so what is the third point for condition for hearing echo? That intensity of the original sound should be quite high, so that sound after suffering reflection, when it reaches the listener's ear, it should be loud enough to be audible. So from this topic echo, what is the definition of echo and what are the conditions for hearing an echo? An important question for your board exam. Next topic is uses of echo. You know that not only human beings who are learning physics use the echo, concept of echo. The certain elements are dolphins, bat, they also use the means physics of echo, what they use, dolphin and bat, what they do, by using the echo method, they can detect any means source, any obstacle, any enemies are there in front of them, and at what distance they are, they can find out by the concept of echo. Means what they do, they just send the sound wave and then it will hit the obstacle in front of them, then it will return back. Alright, and then you know what will be the speed according to the speed of sound. It is given by 2d by t. So they can estimate after receiving, means how long it is taking to come back to them. They can estimate what is the distance where the obstacles are situated, that dolphin and bat they can detect. Alright, so they are using the method of echo. Then human being, they uses the method of echo in sonar. Sonar is what? The full form, sound navigation and ranging. And here in while writing sonar, all the letters should be written capital. Take care. So sonar, what is the full form? Sound navigation and ranging. In this one, what is done? By this process, what you can do, you can measure the depth of sea, you can measure the depth of any object within ocean, within sea or underwater. Simply you can say underwater. So how it is detected? Suppose there is a ship. In the ship what is there? An instrument is there which will produce the sound and which will send the sound in water. Now you see what is happening, sound is coming. Suppose this is the bottom of the sea, so it will strike here, it will suffer deflection, then reflected sound is received by another receiver kept in the ship. Alright, then they find out the time gap between these two events, means sending of sound and receiving of the reflected sound. Then you see, if you know what is the speed of sound in water, then it will become V is equal to 2d by t. So they are measuring the time by using a stopwatch, and speed of sound in water is known to them. So you see, you can calculate what is the distance. It will be V into T by 2. So by using this formula, they can find out what is the depth of the reflector. So suppose there is a spying submarine here. So by the sonar method, what the ship can do, it can detect the submarine and it can locate its position. So what are the points you have to remember regarding sonar? That in sonar, what is the full form? What is the full form for sonar? You must learn and remember. What is the formula we use to measure the depth? It is V into T by 2, where V is the speed of sound in water. Another point you must remember, in sonar it is sound navigation and ranging. Now the question, which sound? In sonar, ultrasound is used. You must remember this fact, very important, and it is asked, which kind of sound is used in sonar? So in sonar, ultrasonic sound is used. Alright. Then the next topic is, the next one, application of echo is in case of radar. Alright. Radio detection and ranging. What is the full form of radar? Radio detection and ranging. And in case of radar, what is the wave we use? We use radio wave. Alright, and in case why the radar is used, just like sonar, sonar is used underwater and radar is used in air. Means to find out the height of any flying object, at what distance they are from the ground, we can use the radar and we also use the echo method. So suppose there is an object here, flying object, and the aeroplane is here. So from the aeroplane, first radio wave is transmitted, it will hit the obstacle and then suffer reflection. The reflected sound wave is received and the time gap between these two events, sending of wave and receiving of the reflected wave, is measured by a watch. So you see, time is known to you, and what is the velocity of sound in air, that is also known to you. So what will be the height of the obstacle or height of the flying object from the aeroplane, it will be d is equal to v into t by 2. So here we are using the echo method in case of sonar and in case of radar. And remember the two important points, as I said, in sonar which kind of wave is used? Ultrasonic sound is used, and in case of radar, radio wave is used. And dolphin bats, they also use the echo method to detect any obstacle in front of them. So these are the uses of echo. So what you must learn from this chapter: the differences between sound and light wave, definition of echo, conditions for hearing echo, alright, and uses of echo. Uses of echo directly you can read from the book. There is no need to write in the study material notebook. Thank you, girls.